team. I do think they've got a very interesting team composition for themselves, though. Like you said, lots of backline access and dive, but also between the Alistair and the Galio right here, the Jhin is going to have a lot of spaceport for him to be able.
That will like to build around them, like guys like Xiaofeng. A conversation we've had so much with a player like a Milky Way in a very different trajectory is this is something you don't usually see at the level 1 early. We are having an 80 carry 1v1. Jauchi gets through an entire clip with the Jhin bullet, goes back into the brush, so he drops vision, gets the reload off, and he's just going to crit shot LP. He gets the barrier, but flashes right after him, and Jauchi punishing LP for just straight up disrespect.
One of the few champions who can out-roam an Akali if you play it out correctly. So also going to have to keep an eye on that mid lane, see where the priority is going to be there. The minute, everybody going to be wandering around. Here's the engage.
Here we go, support starting out first. The Cat does not have that unbreakable will, so it's easy to slice right through the Alistair. And it's Xiaofeng popping out, throwing down the first cease and desist. He's always right going forward in this opening match.
You can see Jackie and the Cat just moved a little bit quicker. Xiaofeng, what was that?
Niket flashing in to try and get Xiaofeng, but he feels fine and dandy and safe because he sets up a huge bullet time. Jauchi has to flash out. Can Milky Way save his 80 carry? No, Xiaofeng finds the kill. He does sacrifice his life in tote. Xiaoshu using the hero's interest to join the party. Both global ultimates come online with the Dredgeline 6 for Zhuo into the seismic shell. Xiaohu, is he taking enough on this Galio to survive the burn? No, he is not. Zika gets the kill, feats of warfare, and a slight win on the skirmish over to LNG.
Alright, should have respected the Xiaofeng engage a little bit more. He missed the Vault Breaker and then immediately gets jumped, but still manages to turn that around into the reset time has just come through at a slightly inopportune moment. Although the Drake not really being burned through, he's going to get here.
And look at Xiaofeng. Vault Breaker's over. The new sub in for LNG that has made them proactive, made them oriented to fight. But is this a fight they really want to take? They are getting flanked by Tongguan. Zhuo throws the Dredgeline down, immediately regrets his mistake as he flashes out.
No.
And somehow LP steals the dragon. He didn't even use the bullet time, because guess what? The bullet time ranks across all of RNG. Xiaoshu goes to the hero's entrance. Tongguan gets 0 value out of his perfect execution. LNG stays strong as 5, and it's to the death and demise of RNG. 2 kills already picked up, and they might be hunting for more here. I don't know if that turret will even protect Jauchi as he pulls out the curtain call. Desperately trying to find these kills on the backside, but Milky Way, walking away from the safety of his turret, is gonna burn to Zika. And guess what, Jauchi? Your friend's fate is yours. I've seen the future. Here comes the 4-man demise of LNG. Jauchi's barrier will not save him. He won't even trade out Zika. It's perfection from LNG as they wipe the floor with RNG.
For RNG really need to get themselves straight into the back line. Just don't feel like they're in the position to be able to do so. Mid lane, tier 1, gonna fall. Gonna be any further. In fact, the disengage just gonna come through right here from Xiaofeng. And it has been so good to see from him. Actually, does he manage it? Yeah.
I guess, you know, I'll give him the credit.
So potentially looking for a fight top lane. He's gonna spot out Milky Way.
Yeah, they know he's on this top side. He walked past a ward. He will mark Milky Way, who goes untargetable. Bullet time, not going to hit a lot on the Milky Way. They turn the depth charge onto Tongguan. He does get into the Shroud, but the Shroud won't save him. The seismic stuff still comes through for Haichao. Tongguan will not be able to dash away from the cease and desist, the hard arm of the law, known as Xiaofeng. As Tongguan falls, here comes the big rumble ult as well. It gets too far forward up. Xiaoshu does get a big taunt. They get the curtain call out. Jauchi has enough space, but Xiaofeng says, I'm closing the distance. Flashing forward the Vault Breaker. Xiaofeng in the middle of 3 RNG members, and he still will not die. Dredgeline down to Xiaoshu, and it's another kill set up by LNG. They can do no wrong with their new pivotal jungler in the starting role.
Started. Be able to pick up a couple extra kills for your team, and now as we jump out of that replay is going to be that 3rd dragon completed LNG on Soul Point.
This is like if the way they're taking these neutrals, it's like if your mom gave her credit card to you as you walked into a candy store.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just buying everything. I want everything. Otacon, yes. Dragons, yes. Hey, maybe we might pick off an Alistair here, get some burgers at the at the mall diner as well, as the Ket nearly burns. Unbreakable Will, only thing saving him. Voracious Otacon as well is what is the prize for LNG, so he'll get that false life. And you thought Xiaofeng was playing with aggression before. Wait till he has an easy recall towards his base.
At this point, the game feels like it's just falling away from RNG. They're down by so much. 5,000 gold going to be the advantage just 20 minutes into this game. There's not even a Baron. Otherwise, I think that would be the next bit of candy picked up by LNG. For now, they're just going to push through this bottom side of the map. Milky Way was looking for a flank, but just gets caught right here.
Does Xiaofeng just have a sixth sense? He had no vision in that brush, and he still is just bodying Milky Way. Hashtag revenge of Xiaofeng for Rookie of the Split as he solos out Milky Way's The Fury. It's all up LNG. This game is routed.
It's so important to be able to pick up this win right here for LNG to show that you have been revitalized. Yes, maybe this split isn't going to be the best for you, but you don't get eliminated for split number 3. You get to go again, and more than anything, these players are still trying to put good wins down onto their resume, show that they deserve to still be here. Stepping into a brush, what ends up happening, where the dogs are if you don't get spotted out, because Milky Way sat there thinking he's got a pretty nice flank off, you know, has that Eclipse completed, maybe could try to one-tap LP, that could start off a winning fight for RNG, but nope, Xiaofeng immediately nips that in the bud, and now the push just continues on right here, top lane tier 2 gonna fall, and the response, not even a full tower in the bottom side. I don't know how low that tower is gonna be, but Hangyeon sticks around, is he just gonna...
I don't know. I don't hate this approach from RNG. They're not going for any plays into the false life unless it's, you know, like a clear 1v3. Zeka, though, won't fall. He does have to be careful. The false life drops off in 7 seconds, and Xiaofeng does not care. He's diving under the inhibitor turret. You do not have a recall back to base for free. They do lose the false lives now. These are going to be kills given over to RNG if they're not careful, and Tagwan capitalizes. Xiaofeng makes a critical mistake, gives one shutdown over, and there's a whole lot more standing gold in LNG's pockets. The bullet time for LP, trying to buy space for Haichao. The Milky Way Tagwan have so many dashes to try and chase down these kills. Shuo gonna survive, burning his own flash.
You also walk through a lot of your jungle, so you see that you're not getting flanked at the moment here. LNG set up pretty well for this. And these slow fights, this is where the Talia can really shine.
Watch out for Tongguan. He's doing a very deep flank. Look
flank.
at Zeka. He sniffs it out. He knows it's coming. Weaver's Wall down. Does try and cut off some of RNG as they are kind of trapped in the pit. Jachi will come across. The Weaver's Wall drops. Nobody really sectioned off too harshly, but they're waiting for Tongguan to go in. Dashes in. Hero's interest with Xiaoshu. Finds absolutely nobody. The bullet time this time comes across with the rumble. That's the wombo LNG drafted for, and they're just popping every single member of RNG. What a clean, dominating start to this series as LNG eyes a 1-0 lead, looking for a spot in the play-in tournament.
It's going to be 30 seconds until the majority of pickups are available for RNG. I don't know if this is going to be the full end. It might well be. Yes, you managed to grab the Drake accidentally in and amongst everything that happens here, but going to be a more than worthwhile trade for the base of your opponents. LNG revitalized, looking so much better. 13 seconds now until Jackie's going to be up and available. Same for Zhao and Milky Way. I think they're just about going to be able to survive. Don't throw things away, LNG. Back off. Yeah, the second that the front line falls, the chase comes through. And so far, the hooks have just been clean. Don't know what happened right there to hit, but that should turn straight into the Baron. I gotta be honest, Zhou on these hooks has been so clean all game.
Baron being started as you called out. Milky Way's here with Tongguan. They're gonna have the TP coming across for Xiaoshu. So he will be able to join, but this is still a 4v5 for the team that is very, very far behind, and they have 0 eyes on this Baron. So Milky Way has no idea how low the Baron is. They can't even use the curtain call to get close enough because the bullet time lands this time onto Milky Way. We had some issues with the misfortune, but LP shuts us up in an instant with another clutch bullet time, and Tagwan can't even rescue a kill. Baron not needed. There's your final fight. There's your cherry on top. One of the cleanest games from LNG, not all split, but maybe all darn year.
Absolutely it is. They have just dismantled RNG. It starts badly. They give a kill over to Jackie, and from that moment on, LNG... they get themselves straight into this game. Look at him. He's trolling. He's having a good time. Hey, why not? He has completely turned the fortunes of LNG around. This team looking so much better. And it's not going to be the final.
And Rise, it's impossible to break through. You got a Crescent Guard to deal with, a Scion, and a Rel. What does Zhuo get to do on this Poppy? You hit the right Keeper's Verdict. See you later, frontline. Hey, look.
Of that Rise ulti and that Scion ulti. So they're not at a complete disadvantage. Now lots of pings on in the bottom lane.
Oh, as the cat flies in, they're going after Xiaofeng himself when he flashes forward, gets Jhachi to pop the cleanse,
Oh,
but
wow.
Jhachi's health bar was far too low. Steadfast Presence does cancel the hop forward, but Jhachi doesn't need to get this kill. Milky Way does. RNG, the team to come out swinging early, and they bite off
this one. As LNG, you really don't want to be giving grubs over to a Tristana and a Scion. Those two can mess you up in side lanes. Tristana already get the extra proactivity through. You've only lost your jungler in one fight. You know, you're not going to be too far behind.
Here we go. First ultimate from Xiaofeng. Gets Chong on a flash, but the follow comes across, and there is that proactivity showing through again from the LNG jungler. Getting kills back on the board. Grubs. You got the Scion and the Rise as well. We're going to be plentiful in the side lane. So, winning trade. That is for LNG because they cannot just sit idly, especially down gold. Ooh. And again, it's Milky Way that's looking to make the plays. The Keeper's Verdict does get rid of Milky Way, but Jhachi has more than enough damage to get one kill. He nearly finds the second onto LP as well.
LP thinking maybe he could get a return kill, not going to be the case. And now Xiaofeng also going to get bullied out of his jungle again. That's the second blue buff in a row. He's not been allowed to take wins across the board right here for RNG. This is a big problem for LNG. When you have the earlier game composition and it begins falling apart like this, not good.
Oh, there's the Grand Starfall, though. They catch Jhachi recalling on a ward. And with the Killer Instinct, LP picks up that kill. They have Tongguan here who's trying to trade the damage out with the Rune Prism. Xiaofeng waiting on some cooldowns. Just going to go after Niket and get a second kill. The Realm Warp out for Tongguan will at least save him. But mistakes for RNG. Marring
for LNG, it's worth that ward going down.
Worth for Zhuo. He almost comes back in and gets the revenge. Killing off Tongguan if he doesn't have the Realm Warp up. But live in action, we're fighting over the Rift Herald. Zhuo flies in for Niket. Milky Way popping the Crescent Guard. Zhuo does get himself back out to safety as both top laners teleport in. Shelly is angry. It's soon to reset here. Ooh. A little far away from her pit. So Shelly crawls back, and RNG are going to actually turn on to the Herald. Right as I talk about the turrets, Haichao gets the thwack away at this top tier 1. And RNG are first towards that dragon. So we'll see what the Herald play looks like for Xiaofeng later on.
There was absolutely no response out of LNG. They were not even slightly interested in getting involved in this play around the dragon. Like you said, they get themselves top lane tower. Actually, they're going to be able to pick that one up first, so that is going to be another move towards the feats.
Well, feats are gone off that dragon, though.
Off the dragon, yeah, already, actually, yeah. Because they were able to get themselves all 3 of those grubs earlier on, of course. So that's, not going to be an overall worthwhile play.
And this is calling back to, like, the placement matches. It's been Jhachi, had that awesome Kaisa game, and Milky Way. So, good call out there, Blockster, because we're still a little bit wary of RNG. But Milky Way has been ever aggressive, looking for plays, and targeting Zhuo constantly, who is just sectioned off and picked off with ease. As we see Zhuo drop for
much worse spot.
Oh. Look at this, though. Look at this call from Milky Way and Tongguan. They're going to start off Voracious Octagon, which will definitely speed this game up, giving false lives. LNG are trying to roam over, but there are 4 members strong here for RNG. And Milky Way, he's taking a lot of damage from Voracious Octagon. He's healing a lot more. And now that LNG have brought the response over, they're going to try and drop aggro. They get the teleport out of Haichao, who does join the party. Voracious Octagon will reset. Now it's LNG's turn to hop on Octagon. As this chess match continues, it's below 4K. Are we really about just 50-50 this thing? False Lives will completely swing this fight. Zhuo sends Milky Way out of the pit, though. That clutch Poppy ult gets the False Lives for LNG. And now do they feel confident enough to fight? The Grand Starfall says yes, but Tongguan has already picked off one member. Zika flying into the backline does get Jhachi down. They get the big Tristana, but do they have enough in the tank left to fight out? Milky Way certainly says no with his Crescent Guard up, but Zika keeps churning and burning. Gets another kill. There's another recall coming across. All of the gas is out of the tank for LNG. They get the Octagon. They all fall as 5, but it won't end up costing them more than 1,000 soul point. They have Zika on the top side with teleport. And it looks like LNG are willing to make this trade. Infernal soul point for a tier 2 top lane turret that Zika doesn't even feel comfortable going for.
Yeah. Well, this is a complete disaster here for LNG. Instead, it's fine in the end. Oh, hang on.
Oh boy, but we're fine now with no false lives. Haichao. What is that positioning? The Victor in the worst spot
possible. Position from LNG. Everybody else is looking to go play forwards, be aggressive, jump into the back line. Whereas the Victor much more full with this composition that you don't jump forwards. You don't have any of the mobility tools that everybody else does. It's mainly just Zhao who walks at him, and there's nothing you can really do as the Victor. I mean, No flash available.
Yes.
You're just...
You got the Saris, the Roa fully stacked up, and Azania's not too far away. So he can really churn and burn a lot of the damage markers as Zika finds a 1v1 with Milky Way with Realm Warp available. It's not a 1v1, it's a 2 versus 1. The public execution does come down. Togwan might be caught here. He goes into the stasis, but they can't commit to find the kill. Shalfung throws a spear, chucks it right at the head of Togwan. Right when we're talking about the rise being pivotal, it falls and gives an opening to LNG.
And this is the thing, we've been talking about how we also wanted Zika to step up at some point. Well, there you go, 3 items now completed, and this is the thing with Ambessa. Yes, it looks like you've nearly killed her, but the amount of shielding and dashes available to this champion is immense. Zika didn't even have the flash available, and was still able to hit that key public execution onto Tangwan, make that one work. Now, the ulti gonna come through, bops away
Xiaoshu. Yeah, so they'll be able to finally take this mid lane tier 1 turret that
there we go.
they wanted this thing bad, Bloxer, so that does open up the map a lot more and will really help find this dragon. But will they be willing to trade the Baron? Because RNG, they'll happily take that bargain.
Absolutely, and you can see just the utter darkness right now around that buff. There they
Death
go.
Brush. They're going for Zhuo. Does not get the Keeper's Verdict off. He wants Crescent Guard by space. The Ket does get traded out. Watch Jachi Tongguan as the Arcane Storm comes over. Tongguan flashing forward to get the Ruin to Haichao. Public execution goes on to Xiaoshu. Everybody trying to draw these battle lines, but who's going to dash forward? It's the Killer Instinct from LP. Knocks down Xiaoshu. There's no more front line left as the Grand Starfall comes across. Jachi falls next, but Haichao's being heralded by Milky Way. He can't find the kill. Great flash from Haichao. And Xiaofeng finds the critical kills. LNG in an absolute bloodbath will not relent, and it's a Xiaofeng triple kill to put a star on top. Fresh air, knowing that they can dictate the tempo of this game a bit more. At the very least, they don't have to worry about that dastardly trade, Infernal Soul for Dragon, but they're playing with a new confidence after that fight win. And finally, Zika getting another clutch public execution. It's on the Milky Way of all people. The catalyst, the front of the spear for all of RNG's early game team fight wins has fallen early. And the rest of the team is scattered to the wayside, running for the hills as Zika just burns through the horse and the cat.
It looked good for RNG throughout the early stages, and at the point at which their composition was beginning to get online, just begin to like it was going to be a terrible time for them. It was looking like maybe they could play it. Maybe they still can. Maybe they can pull their way back, but with the Baron buff up and available for LNG, with these towers crumbling right in front of their eyes, it just doesn't feel like they've got any way to get back into this game. It's going to take a bit of a miracle engage between the Rel, the Scion, and the Xin Zhao. It's not impossible, but God, does it feel unlikely.
At the very least, they're not losing too much on this Baron power play yet. They lose the mid-tier 2. You're going to have to sack this bottom lane 1 as well with no real protection from mid lane by this point. Another wave comes up, and RNG have to back up further, create a makeshift.
It really isn't impossible. This composition is getting stronger and stronger here for RNG, but they just haven't shown that they're able to play it out correctly.
Now with no Baron, they're going to try and start a fight, but hello, there's been a secret mission on the back end. Tongguan gets picked by both Zika and Xiaofeng. RNG are going to try and force the fight on the other end. The Buster Shot does nearly get the kill onto Haichao, but he survives. He leaves LP to his own devices, but with no damage dealers left, it's actually LP getting turned on. LP knocking down Xiaoshu without Milky Way and his collapse. The black hole of LNG find the ace and might put the final dagger in this series. A commanding 2-0 to send RNG to the despair of 0-3 in Group Nirvana.
LNG, they put themselves in a spot where now they've played all of their Group Nirvana games. There is a possibility, a chance that they might even get to move on up and play more League of Legends this split, get themselves into the play-ins. For RNG, this may well be it. This may well be the final nail in the coffin that sends them tumbling out of the LPL for split number 3. Ends their entire year right here. LNG 2-0 RNG in dominant fashion.